Well, the computer's there anyway. Camera's pointed at a living or some sort of a office there. There you are. How's it going?
How are you?
Getting better.
Better.
Certainly feeling better today. Yeah.
Oh,
It's been a while. It's
yeah.
quite the experience, I tell you, healing up from a herniated disc.
Mm. Yeah, it would be.
I could have went the quick and easy route and got all cut up at the doctor's, but I just decided not to do that.
Hmm.
Can't trust
Yeah.
them.
No. You would have other complications.
Uh-huh. There certainly would be. All right. Well, let's go and check things out here. Yeah, this is awesome. I'm actually going to be using a 4-hour chart, I think, from now on, simply because we're going to be noticing the movements happen a lot faster. And as a result, we need to, yeah, well, we don't need to, but I like seeing greater detail. If you have just the daily candles, it's sometimes difficult to see what movements transpired to create that movement. And so with the 4-hour chart, we'll just have a little bit more resolution, if you will, like where there's less pixelation in the details. And yeah, let's get this show on the road. Do I have my... Nope, I don't have my scene switcher automatically up and running here. So tools, start, close, and I think now I'm ready. Yay. All right, silver. Let's start off with the precious metals. Silver. Well, silver has been, yeah, we'll look at that, eh? Silver came down all the way and has found its support off of this $30 level. However, we can see over the last few days, it's actually rallied upwards. Now, this rally here is not very significant. I mean, if we take a look at this now, we have definitely confirmed a few downward trends here. The first one is right here. We can see that the way that this high met up with this high. So that is one trend. But then within that, we can see that there's actually a steeper line that has occurred. And so we have two trend lines now that are contributing to the decline in the price of silver. As a result, it would take quite a bit of bull energy to get past that trend line. For the time being, we're likely to follow this one continuing down. Now, we may see another attempt to come up to this level here, because this has provided some major resistance in the past and support. And so here, coming down, we may see a little bit of life come back and come up to retest this level here. This is 32.2. If it does that and tests this and it does not go up, then it is likely that we'll see a continuation coming down and likely find the next level of support down here. This is at 27.6. So some movement is, I believe that we'll see this continue to drop again, because we've got this new renewed hope in the US economy, as short-lived as I think it will be, maybe 5-6 months. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. But that is silver at the moment. Gold also experiencing major declines, very swift declines. I'm going to grab the top of this here and draw the first trend line, and then the second one, which stems from here. We can see, yeah. So here, this one, the price may still come up and test this second trend line that's now starting, that's definitely been formed from this high there. but we are definitely forming lower lows and lower highs. So I would suspect that if it comes up, it may retest, I would say possibly this line here, this horizontal line, it may meet up with it on this trend line. That's a very common pattern. So from where we are right now, we will likely see a little bit of a rally here coming up, finding resistance off this trend line and continuing its path down. The other option is that it doesn't even make it off past this trend line here and follows that line down at a fairly accelerated rate. So yeah, that's silver and gold. Let's move on. This is the Toronto Stock Exchange, formed a new high already today. Oops, I got to figure out how to make it so that when I'm done drawing, it doesn't go back to the drawing tool. Okay, so right now, all-time high is $25,024. This is the Toronto Stock Exchange. I kind of suspected that the Canadian markets would follow suit with the US markets simply because they have for how many years. But this is, again, this is not reflective of the value of the asset. I've been saying this for a long time, and in fact, I think I first started saying it in 2018 or 2019 because inflation was already starting to accelerate before COVID. And so what we're seeing here is not the price. This is not a reflection of the value of the market. This is only a reflection of the devaluation of the currency. So it's going higher, sure, but do not be deceived. This is not going up in value. Now, US 30 also formed that new high yesterday. A little bit of a rally, or rather, a little bit of a pullback today. We're seeing, we're probably going to see more all-time highs forming over the next 4 or 5 months, simply because of the nature of people's encouragement with the Trump election. Now, this one here, we can see we've got a long-term trend line right there. That trend line we may see, especially now that we have this new high, we may see it come back and look for support there, simply because look at how much resistance this level provided here. So it took a while for it to bounce up and get above, and then even when it did, it came back and bounced below that line again here. So, oops. So with this retracement finding support here, this is a nice big movement. Definitely. But that large movement kind of needs a retracement to come back. And so this long trend line, the price action that we have here may dip down and meet at the top of this pivot zone along with that trend line there. That's my take on it. I believe that this movement does require a little bit of a retracement. You can see every time there's been a large movement, there does need to be a retracement, and usually it retraces about down to approximately 61.8 or 50% of the impulse, right? That just occurs naturally. So this movement here is no different. It's a fairly aggressive movement, so it would be normal for us to see a retracement come back to these levels here. This is, again, the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index. Now, if you noticed on my Telegram, I actually posted about the next financial instrument that we're analyzing, which is the global crypto 30. So we have the US 30, which is that index. The Dow Jones Industrial Average Index is taking the top 30 corporations that make the public corporations within the United States and putting them into an index so we can measure how are these companies doing. Well, we do the same thing with cryptos as well. So this is an index of the top 30 performing cryptocurrencies. And we can see here that we are just recently over and above the all-time high that was set in March of 2024. And I think, just double check this. Yeah, my data doesn't go even back far enough to see more, unless I go to the weekly chart maybe. Oh yeah, no, we've got some more. We've got some more room actually to meet what we had in 2021. But if you think about it here, think about this here. This is all that chop that everybody experienced in 2022, right? So this drop in value of the top 30 cryptocurrencies, this was when we had all of that scandal stuff with the brokers and all that, which by the way, that was just the guy that got caught. Okay? They all do it. If you want to learn about how corrupt the exchanges are, let me send you some videos. There are some long ones, but they will really help you comprehend how it is that this whole industry runs and how corrupt the exchanges are. So this is just a result of someone getting caught, okay? But since that time, we've seen it build back up again, and now we're actually creating a new high from all of this chop that we experienced earlier in 2022 and 2023. This rally here, from this point coming up to here, that is a significant movement. Then coming back, retracing here, this was in the middle of the summer. And now creating a new high that's beating out this one. This is very good. But take this into consideration here. We are at the base of the AI and gaming bubble. Okay, so AI and video gaming are really coming together. The gaming industry is probably leading the way in showing people how to live economically free. And it's crazy, but that's just the way that this is going. This is at the base of that bubble, but this here, that is only, if I get my ruler out, that is only 30% away from the all-time high, and we are at the base of a bubble. So we could potentially experience the same type of growth that we had from, this is 2020, March of 2020, taking us up to May of 2021. Okay, this type of movement is likely the type of aggressive bullish movement that we can expect to see over the next 6 months. So if we're here now, where do we measure where we're headed? We have no idea. We've got tools to do it, but we are in uncharted territory in many ways because we've never had a bubble of this magnitude within two sectors of tech at the same time. So on to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is definitely showing its strength. We've got new highs being formed almost every day. In fact, yeah, right now, actually, brand new high. Look at that. So let's grab, oh, I gotta grab the right one here. Where is the right one? Oh, I'm grabbing my Fibonacci tool here. Let's grab that over there, put this up there. There we go. Okay, perfect. So we did break $90,629.45, and that's moving right now. It's actually going up as we speak. If I zoom into the 15-minute chart here, we can see we just got a tip at the edge of that candle. So we just hit that all-time high while we're talking about it here. Look at that. Just created, look at it. It's going right now. It's beating the high, forming a new high as we speak, live on the charts. Look at that, 90,722 now. We talked about this yesterday, how it sliced through the 80,000s like butter over this last week. You know, it did not take much. It did not take much to get through this. I'm going to go back to the 4-hour chart so we can just see how quick this occurred. Here was the 24 election last Tuesday, and it went from, that was 69,334, and immediately it went up right away 7%. And then within this last week, because now is Wednesday, it's been a week and a day, 8 days, up 30%. If all you would have done was just get some Bitcoin in your Shake Pay, that's what someone did. They called me up. They called me up right before the election, and they said, "I see you talking about cryptos, but I can't make it for the for the analysis, but how do I get started? And I said, well, just get yourself a ShakePay or an Index account and start putting things in there, because you can't go wrong. Like, every cryptocurrency is going to experience this bull run here over the next 6 months. You can't go wrong. Well, they definitely did not go wrong, because all they did was put in $500. That $500 has made them $150 since the election. It's not passive income, it's called leveraged income. It's beautiful. So this type of movement here, this is just the start. Remember, we are at the bottom of this AI gaming bubble. And this will definitely grow over the next 5 to 6 months. And of course, the next thing, look at it, still showing new highs all the time. I just moved this. I got to move it again. Now, $91,059. Literally, as we're talking, it's like bouncing up and down 1,000. Beautiful. Ethereum also experiencing a very good day, up 1.09% since the opening yesterday. Right now, it's finding some resistance here. You can see, oh, this is a 15-minute chart. Let's go to the 4-hour. Hello. There we go. So yeah, there we go. Now, as we've talked about in the past, this whole pennant, we've broken out of this. So I'm going to actually get rid of this because we don't need it anymore. We don't need to observe it. Same with this one here. This is now so far in the past, it doesn't really pertain. This line, I've been saying this for months, folks, months. It's August when I first started talking about this drop, and that we may even see it drop further. We didn't. We ended up testing this level a couple of times, 2180. And then since that time, we've been able to get past this point of resistance, because it was providing resistance here, 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 and even here. And then, sure enough, after the election, last Tuesday, in fact, it crossed that point. On Wednesday, it blew past that resistance and is now finding some resistance here at, oh, actually, you know what? It shot up above this resistance point here. This is a resistance level at 3160. And so right now it's actually gone up a little bit above 3160 and now bouncing off the top side of that. So this is a good movement. We've broken out of this long-term trend line now, definitely. We may see a retest coming back to find support, especially off of this long-term pivot point right here. But even if it does that, I don't think it'll be, I think it would be very short-lived, simply because of the volume of people that are now coming on board. The volume yesterday, the volume of trading that occurred yesterday was so much that Ethereum fees, transaction fees on Ethereum, had almost doubled. It was not worth it to move money unless you were moving like $4,000 or $5,000 at a time, simply because the fees were chewing up so much of your principal. And that's just because that's what happens. When the network is busy, fees go up. So that's why I've been telling people, if you're going to do this, you're going to want to do it soon, because once this bubble is underway, you aren't going to be able to move anything less than $1,000 without incurring some heavy, heavy costs. And now you got to try to make that back, right? So let's not work ourselves too hard. Let's do it easier. Let's put our money where the money's going to go, not where it is. Don't do this late. That's like the Wayne Gretzky's analogy there. You skate to where the puck is going. Don't skate to where it is, because by the time you get there, it won't be there anymore. That's essentially what we're saying with this. Today, it seems like the fees kind of bounced back down. They kind of settled out a little bit. But it's good to just to keep an eye on that. When you see the fees are high, it's likely because the price is going up, a lot of activity. And so then you might want to wait until the prices come back down so that we see a little bit of a lull. Yeah, that was, again, like I say, all day yesterday. This volume that was occurring was contributing to pretty high fees. Let's move on to ADA. It's also broke out of a long-term pattern over the last few days. You can see that channel that we've been following for months got shot out, did very well here over the last little while. Brought us back to, I think these are probably March levels. Yeah, April, March, way over here. And, you know, we had this downturn over the summer. And then we came back up and we've returned back now to the March and April levels, finding a little bit of resistance at 62 cents. That's normal. That's normal. In fact, I kind of expected that that would occur. I even expected that it would have this retracement that we saw. Like here, it dropped down even to this resistance here. We can see that that has been a price point in the past. You can see where my crosshair is there. Let's get how come oh, you know what? It's because I got my green screen filter on, so you can't really see that ripple when I click. But that level right there is what we've seemed to be found some support over the last day or so. So we'll see, we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. But I do expect, especially in the coming weeks, that we'll be meeting this 2024 high. And once we're there and above that, that's when we'll be analyzing how fast are we going up to $3, because that $3 is expected by the end of this cycle, possibly even $5. And I wouldn't put it past it to go beyond that, but we've got plans for as that occurs. XRP is next. Ripple doing very, very well. In fact, it continued its growth up. We'll see whether or not we did a good move on that one, Audrey. Audrey actually got a position back here just before the election, I think it was, if I remember correctly, last Monday. And she did a great job closing the trade out. I think it was yesterday, maybe Monday. And
No, it was yesterday. Yeah.
That was yesterday? Yeah, you closed the trade
made
out.
Over 200. Made over $200.
$200 off of $500. Mm-hmm. 270 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I moved it out, moved it into something else.
Yep, good stuff. That's the trick, folks. Is when you make the movements like this and it's like, whoa, I got a whole bunch, 30% more. Go ahead, move it into something else that you know is still looking to experience that. This is about diversification. You don't want to just, yes, you do want to hold for a long period of time, especially with the longer projects. But when it comes to assets like this, you actually it is nice to catch these movements, especially when you can see that that's been a pattern, right? That's why I draw these lines so that we can find the patterns of this price action. So here it was dipping down below and in fact gained quite a bit of energy while below this channel, so that when she bought immediately within it was within 4 or 5 days, I think, this just shot right up and hit her target. So that's the essence right there.
It was
Buy
7
low,
days.
sell high. 7 days? Okay.
Yeah.
7 days, 30%. Find me a bank that does that. Modic. This is Polygon. Great infrastructure coin for the gaming industry, experiencing a lot of movement over the last little while as well. I actually had a position that I started over here, and then I actually created another position, I think, again, somewhere along this line here. I have to go and look at my history. So we're definitely broken out of this long-term trend line. We had that test earlier, which I was really encouraged by. Bounced off of this line for a while, dipped nice and low here just before the election, and then once the election results were coming in, literally, while the election results were coming in. They weren't even done yet. This here, oh no, this is where the election results would have started coming in. Let's zoom in. Look at that, right there. 5 o'clock on Tuesday. Results started coming in, and great movement coming out of this long-term trend line. Now that I zoom out a little bit, you can see the context of this. That's the election right there. Bang. Shot out of this like a thief in the night and is already finding support on the top side. So, and I was also saying it would probably find support on this long-term line right here. You know, just because it dipped below doesn't mean that that's no longer support. It blew through that like there was no resistance. Found some resistance here at, this is 43 cents. Retraced back, is now retesting this long-term shelf. Beautiful, beautiful position. Solana, again, great strength since the election. Looks like it's found some support off of the $200 level. That's a pretty psychological level, especially when this is supposed to get up to 500 this round in this super cycle that we're seeing. Maybe even more. Maybe even more. But this one here, I don't think I have anything. I've got an altcoin on Solana. Actually, it's a meme coin on Solana. And that's it. Other than that, I'm not really vested into this particular coin simply because I see it as kind of an inferior technology compared to what else is out there in the realm of creating liquidity for real life projects. People can argue that memes are actually real world assets, and I can see their point. But I don't know. I like coins that have a little bit more. I don't know. I compare things like Bitcoin, Cardano, Injective token. I compare those with stocks that provide infrastructure for. Let's think of like Tesla. Okay, real world assets being created and people putting money into things in order to see that infrastructure grow, in order to see that ecosystem expand. I see things like Solana, even TRX to a certain degree, Doge, great example. I see those as simply being the equivalent of looking to invest in your avatar's outfit on a video game. You got a video game and you got your character in the video game, and you wanna spend some money to get a nice vest or maybe a hat or something that your avatar wears in game. That's kind of the equivalent of real world asset that I see being backed in with that we would consider a real world asset in some way, shape, or form. Not really valuable, but it's something valuable to you because it's your character in the game. And so then you make some money, you put some money into it. It's pretty surfacey to me. So that's why I'm not really into Solana, because a lot of Solana is like everything that I've seen and analyzed within Solana really is just either a meme or some sort of community coin. I'd love to learn about other things that it does. Dogecoin is now been announced. It's been now officially announced that it becomes the liquidity pool for the Department of Government Efficiency. Who knew? I think it's hilarious. You've got technocrats that are globalists, right? And they're trying to take over the world digitally. We know that to be true. And then along comes Elon Musk, and all of a sudden everybody puts their blinders on to the nature of technocrats. And all of a sudden now it means it's a wonderful thing. Why? Because one day, I think it was in 2021, maybe 2020, Elon Musk tweeted that he was going to buy Doge. What people don't realize is that by the time he tweeted it, he already had bought it, because he wanted to make sure that when he tweeted it and the price went up, that he was already in position. So that happened years ago. And then sure enough, about 4 months ago, I would say, he started talking about how the Department of Government Efficiency was being created. And he was all excited about it because Trump was even saying that he would put someone like Elon in charge of something like that. Really? Really? Nobody saw that coming? Of course, a meme coin, Doge, would be used for a liquidity pool for Elon Musk to bring some more efficiency to the government. Talk about one of the biggest receivers over the last 5 to 10 years one of the largest receivers of taxpayer money in order to invest in his businesses. Imagine that. Him, one of the largest receivers of government money, taxpayer money, is now in charge of the Department of Government Efficiency. Oh, folks, you can't get a better narrative than this. It's hilarious. So Doge is taking off, and we all know why. Look at that. This was on November 5th, right before the election. It was at 19 cents. When it got announced, let's see.
I got some.
And you just got some too, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I got it before the election.
Yeah. So here we go. Election price, just under 17 cents. Election happens, and then all of a sudden, Doge goes up 148%. 148%. That's in 7 days and 12 hours. 148%.
I'm up in my money again today.
What's that?
I'm up in my money again today.
You're up in it. You know what? I think this is just a good time. We've had a rough 4 years. We deserve this. TRX, Tron, big movements. We've saw a lot of small movements for a long period of time. You can see this channel. I'm on the 4. Yeah, that's right. This channel here, how come it's not bringing me more data? It's slow. There's my data. This channel here, we watched it occur on the daily chart for quite some time. Oh, things are kind of slow here today.
Yeah, I found the internet is really slow today.
There we go. So this channel that we've been following for a long time, I talked about how beautiful it was. It was so consistent. Yeah, well, look at that. Consistently went up to meet that trend line like it has in the past. Finding some resistance, a little bit of a pullback, but this movement here is just beautiful. You know, since, well, after the election, there was actually a little bit of a delay, just a few days delay. It was on the Saturday. No, it was actually on the Sunday is when we created that movement. So on this Sunday, just a few days ago, we started this movement and it's gone up 19%. Little, like I say, a little bit of a retracement, looking for some support off of this inner trend line here that we've been following for the last little while. I would expect, given where we're at the base of this bubble, that this will become support and we'll start to see some price action that pushes up to us towards that all-time high. What is the all-time high on this anyway? Let's go to the weekly chart. Oh, look at that. We just created an all-time high. Bada boom, bada bing. So right now, Tron is in uncharted territory, creating a new high, finding some support off of this line. This is not going to take long for it to go up to 50 cents, folks. Yeah, great position. Injective token. Oh yeah, things are slow, eh? Injective token, we got the 4-hour chart. Look at how beautiful this has moved since I drew the squiggly line. A little bit deeper of a retracement than I drew, but there you have it. Bounced off of that, has now definitely forming some new highs here. We were forming lower lows and lower highs for quite some time. This high here was definitely encouraging to see because we beat out that previous one coming up over top of this trend line. Found some support off of that a couple of times. Definitely grabbed support off of this pivot point right here and forming another new high. Now this is definitely in position for major growth. The injective token is, I'm excited for it. I think that this is going to end up becoming, well, it is already a major backbone for the interoperability of cryptocurrencies, and I'm into this one. I got a few positions actually. Yeah, I know I've got 3, I think. This first one here from June, it's now at that point now, but I did grab another position over here, right there. That's where I started the second position. And this one here, I put in a lot more. So now I'm definitely in profit and going up to the all-time high of 52.90. I will be my average entry is 19. So $19 going to the all-time high will give me 181% growth. So I will more than double. I will almost triple my money on this one, just coming back to the all-time high. This should be going to $200 in this cycle. So if it goes to 200, let's just move the bars here from 200, and my average is 19. So here we go to 200. We're looking at 930%. So I might just 10x this one, because I do expect the price to come up, get above this all-time high, maybe come up with an extension, and then retrace to retest that all-time high as support before heading up to that $200 mark. That's where I'm going to be catching a little bit of a trade. So after we get this extension, I'll be watching for different signs. Once I start to see some liquidity come back out, I will be selling, and I will take it and ride it back down to that all-time high, and then putting the money back in. So I will increase my holdings for that next row, so I can compound my compounding interest on that one. 3 protocol. 3 protocol. Oh, let's go to the daily on this one, because this one does whiplash quite a bit. We saw that occur. We were talking about that when I zoomed in the 15-minute chart. You could see it just bouncing back and forth. We'll do that actually. Let's go into that. So you can see how it just bounced back and forth constantly. All of this is zigzagging. Very, very, very high action. Lots of trading volume happening during that time. Well, who knows? We'll see. I know that there are people who actually get hired by companies to go and falsify their trade volumes in order to make it look like it's in a better position than what it is. I'm not saying that's what happened with 3 protocol, but it is funny to see just how much zigzagging occurred. Not saying it happened, just saying it can. Since this all occurred, we have seen a breakout over top of this line here, and now forming a new high, looking like we're finding support at the top end of this pivot zone here at the 9.6 cent level, essentially 10 cents. And yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. I do expect this to go up quickly, especially once we get above this high right here. Once we get above that, I think we'll probably retest this pivot line around the 16 cent level, and then onwards to the all-time high and beyond. This should be $1. This should be $1 by the end of this cycle, which would be a 10x from where we are right now. Woo! Wee! This one here formed a new high over this last week. It's wonderful to see. Let's go to the 4-hour chart so we can see a little bit more detail here. So yeah, great movement coming up, testing this long-term trend line. And it looks like we might be finding some support at the 21 cent level. Yeah, somewhere in there. Maybe even just at the 23 cent level. Might not even go down to 21 and test that one. We'll see what happens. I do expect there to be a little bit of, with Woo, I do expect there to be a little bit of a delay in its growth. Simply because, and very common for a lot of these altcoins. And the reason why is because the first place people are going to put their money is, in the main chains. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, XRP, Tron, Solana. Those are a lot of the base coins that are then creating these little ecosystems of Destra and 0x0, 3 protocol, Tau, all of these other coins are built off of those main ones. So as people are coming on board into cryptos, they're going to be getting those main L1 coins, those layer 1 coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, so on and so forth. And it's there when they're in the exchanges that they will see the opportunity for these other ones. So these altcoins are going to be a little bit delayed. So same things with Woo. Woo here, I kind of expect it to come back and retest this level just because of how much that had provided some resistance in the past. I believe that this will come down, retest these levels. I'm going to get rid of these squiggly lines because they're a little bit distracting, and they were certainly made long enough ago that not so much relevant right now. So I would expect this to come down, find some support around the 19-20 cent level before making the next extension. And where is that extension? Well, right now we're seeing resistance occur here. In the past, that provided support, right? So right now we're there. So we're going to see some resistance. That pullback will likely find some support around that 19-20 cent level. And when it gets above there, the next level, the next point of resistance is up here. You can see where that resistance was here, and there, and there. That level is going to be what we challenge next. Once we're above that, then it's going to be another pretty smooth sailing. I think there's only 1 or 2 more spots where we might see some resistance at this level at 50 cents before getting up to the all-time high. But this one, again, supposed to be $1. Supposed to be $1. So what does that look like? Well, for the trade that I currently have, I think I have to look to see what the average is right here. But I'm going to go off of this last trade that I took, which I actually took at a higher price than the first one. So I didn't really do dollar cost averaging, but I had some extra liquidity added to my bag here. So this trade here, to go to dollar is 352%. Beautiful. BitTensor, major infrastructure project used for big tech companies. We saw some great retracement coming down here, and since that time, been bouncing off of these pivot points here, and now it looks like we're finding support at this 546 level. Keep in mind, this is supposed to go to $5,000, so even at $500, you may 10x or even 9x your 9 or even 10x your money. This one here, I do expect it, once it gets above this all-time high, to really skyrocket quickly. I think these next 3 to 4 months are going to be, it's going to be the equivalent of going uphill really fast in a roller coaster. That's what it's going to feel like. And you just want to make sure that you eject before you go to the other side of that roller coaster, because it's going to be traumatizing for a lot of people. Desync. Oh yeah, this one is definitely leading the way for AI and web storage. Decentralized web storage for AI and web content, for like websites and all that stuff, apps, so on and so forth. This one here is really starting to take off. We can see that if we go back to the daily chart here, this pennant pattern has been a long time forming. And I've been saying, that energy is going to break out eventually at one point or the other. And I drew a squiggly line right up to the very point. But we have definitely superseded that projection and already starting to break out. Where will the support be? Don't really know. Because of how much focus this particular asset is getting within the crypto space, it is likely to not see much in line of retracements until we get past this all-time high. It might come back down and retest these levels here. Right now at 31 cents, a drop like that would be very, very helpful. I mean, imagine if it's going on sale from where it is right now, coming back to this resistance here, or this support. That'd be a 30% drop. That'd be nice, but at the same time, this all-time high is nothing compared to what this is going to do. $5 is not going to be difficult for this asset at all. $5, in fact, I think that after the cycle, I think that $3 will likely be the base after this cycle, simply because of their approach. Remember, the reason why I like Destra so much is because they are actually following more of Nvidia's business model, and Nvidia is trading places with Apple for the largest corporation on the planet. And the reason why is not because they made AI chips, although they did a great job of that, and their chips are being used for AI all over the place. They knew something that I know as well. They know that their job is not to provide the gold for the miners. Their job is to provide the tools for the gold miners. Okay? We talked about this many times. But in the gold rush, the people that made the most money were the people who were selling the tools to the people who were prospecting. Okay? Destra is providing the tools for people to go mining for gold with AI. That's why I believe this one here will remain more, it'll still experience the pop like every other asset will, but these guys are setting themselves up for that long-term, 5-year, 10-year prospect. And so providing these tools makes this, for me, a lot more, I feel a lot more confident long-term with Destra than I do even with BitTensor. And the reason why is because I think that the big tech companies are going to experience the biggest hardship, we'll call it, after the bubble pops. Whereas it's going to be the small companies that have that long-term vision in mind that will weather the storm, so to speak. Same as we saw with ADA, over the last, or any other cryptocurrencies over the last few years. 2022 was brutal for the industry. And really, the only people that made it through, the only companies that made it through were the ones that had that long-term vision of making it through, knowing that what they were doing was for a future adoption of technology that would free us economically from superpowers. Having that as your focus, you automatically are going to be more positioned for long-term than someone who's just in it for the quick buck. 0x0, another private AI project. This one here, you can see it was having a difficult time getting above this movement here, this long, deep retracement, provided a lot of support. Now we're not done yet, obviously, and there's not really much of a retracement. There's a little bit of one over the last day. A little bit of a retracement there. Oh, no, I'm on the 4-hour chart. Or I'm on the daily chart rather. Here we go. So after this long movement here, definitely a little bit of a retracement. I would love to see it get above this line here. Right there is where that high needs to be beat. So we are still technically following this because we need to see where this retracement ends up. Hopefully it can come back to this pivot zone here, find some support off of that before heading up past this point. If it doesn't, that's okay too. 0x0, I think, is going to be, again, one of those things kind of like Woo, a little bit more delayed. We're going to see those layer 1 coins come in first, and these ones follow suit. Probably by the end of the month, we'll start to see these really start to take off. Well, 0x0, I don't know. 0x0 is a unique one. It seems like it has I want to say it has its shit together more so than a lot of the other ones. I could be wrong. Just the gut feeling I've got. None of this is financial advice, by the way. I should have put that in the beginning. None of this is financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what it is that I'm doing and what I've noticed and what I've learned looking at charts for tens of thousands of hours since 2017. That's all I'm doing. Sharing you everything I've learned and what I see happening. ARK definitely has the movement that I would have liked to have seen from 0x0, beating out that previous high, right? This high needs to be beat. 0x0 hasn't done it yet. Whereas ARK actually accomplished that, and even just today, a rise in 31% rise in price just today. That is coming from the support that it found right here, blowing past that old high there. This one here will likely find support now here at the 4-cent level. This is supposed to be $1 eventually at the end of this super cycle. So from 4 cents to $1, it's like you're getting a penny stock. It'd be like I don't know if you guys saw, but Chorus Entertainment, one of the largest media companies in Edmonton, has now become a penny stock. You want to see a funny chart? Let's just bring it up. Chorus Entertainment. See if it's in here. Yep, Chorus Entertainment, Inc., Toronto Stock Exchange. Let's go on there. Here we go. Look at this chart. Let's go to the weekly. So this is the weekly chart. Every bar, it represents 1 week of price action. Look at how it's been dropping since 2017. Yeah, well, yeah, here's the all-time high here. September 14. And since that time, it just keeps on dropping, keeps on dropping, keeps on dropping. And here we go, April of 2021. Since that time, it's basically been free falling and now bouncing off of support at 10 cents. Where will it go? Who knows? And quite frankly, who cares? It's just fascinating to see just how much faith is being pulled out from underneath legacy companies. Wonderful to see. Wonderful to see. Yeah, it's ARK. Let's go on now. Link. Link AI, this is the 4-hour chart. Yeah, okay, so this breakout here that occurred just after the elections, that's definitely good sign. Good sign. We have this high here beating out the previous high over there. We just need to see it get above this one next. That level right there. And I think I've got a line on that one. I'm gonna bring it down though, because I think, yeah, we are basically there right now. So this here tested that level at 18 cents. A little bit of a retracement down to 14. I believe that that's all the support it needed. Look at how much resistance that's provided in the past. Whenever we see a lot of contact points at a certain price level, you can be rest assured that that will provide support or resistance again in the future. Well, it provided a lot of resistance in the past. We now got above that. You can even see it tested it here. That level, 14 cents. Tested it here on this bull run that occurred since elections. So since the election, it has definitely had a nice rally coming up, forming new highs. Next one, now that it's found support off of that level at 14 cents. Remember, provided a lot of resistance in the past, so now it can provide support. Already bouncing off of that level up to 16.8 cents US. The next movement will likely bring it above this resistance, possibly even come up to 20 cents before finding retracement to retest at 18. And then it'll be on its way up to the all-time high. There's not a whole lot of price action between this resistance at 20 cents and the all-time high. You can see it just a little bit here at 25 cents. That's about it. Great, great outlook. And with this, the way this M formed, right? And then had this retest dipping below that trend line, just the most beautiful formation for long-term growth. And I say long-term in crypto, that means about 4 to 6 months. Okay, 01 Labs, another private AI project. Yeah, created these new highs. One of the reasons why I like this chart is because it doesn't have a whole lot of history. So it doesn't have the same kind of pump and dump feel that a lot of the other coins seem to have, simply because it's newer on the block. It came on the scene after the storm that crypto experienced in 2022 and 2023. And so it doesn't have the same behaviors. But we can see that after this all-time high created there, that we've seen a retracement coming into the middle of this pivot zone that was created with this consolidation here. So now finding that support off of this 56-cent level likely will be headed upwards towards that $1 in the next few, I would say, yeah, by the end of the month. PAL. Aw, look at that. It even went down further. So this one here, I actually, yeah, well, I put this one on my Telegram channel. Let's go to the daily chart so you can see the context of what happened here. So here we have a great chart. Project coming back from, yeah, I've got data all the way back in 2023. Yeah, that's when it opened up. So this movement here is just beautiful. That happened during, like, as the crypto storm was coming to a close, came onto the scene. And then here is where it was actually accumulating some great volume because it provided a lot of resistance here before, right? Shot up above, and then it was finding support. That's wonderful because we like to see that right before a good bull run. Then it started up and almost formed a new high above this one, almost. And then it dropped out of nowhere now to a whole new low from back here. So what happened? Well, good things. Remember how we were like, this is good to see because it's finding that support off of this resistance? Well, now it just said, well, yesterday, it literally in a matter of hours. Yeah, that's a 4-hour chart. Let's go to the 15-minute chart just so you can see how fast this happened. So this occurred literally out of nowhere. Movements are nice and like, well, it's tough to see how small they are. There, that's how small the movements were before. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bang, this dropped. And the drop was so significant. By the time I saw it, had already dropped 50%. And then what it was I was like, okay, well, let's see where it retraces. So it retraced its way up. It found this level, but then it couldn't even maintain that and dropped again in a matter of an hour. Yet more. It had dropped down. This here is, what is that? 60% drop in value from here. And this isn't bad. This is simply falling to the next point of support in the past. There it is. This is the price line. This dotted line right here that starts here, that dotted line is today's price, right now's live price. Sitting at this support. Good news. People see this kind of movement and they're like, oh, that's terrible. Are you kidding me? That's not terrible. Dips in bull runs, dips are for buying. So I already had a position in PAL. I think it's got it somewhere around here, 28 cents, somewhere in there. It was before the election. So it was probably in here somewhere. Here's the 4th. Yeah, I think I was the 4th actually. I have to double check my records. But I added a position here. Price went up. Yay. Made a bunch of money, but I didn't close the trade. So that drew down. But when it was down here, I was like, ooh, this is a good time to buy. Why? Because that's what dips are for. They're for buying. So I bought it 13.2 cents. And I bought a lot more at this point than I did up there. So this is my primary position. I think my average cost is like 15 cents right now. So at 15 cents, this is supposed to be $1. Oh yeah, there it is. I bought it 12.8. Let's put that under the green line. Okay, so I bought it 12.8. It's still down. So it's even at a better price now than it was yesterday. Literally sitting right on top of that support that provided the support for this movement to its all-time high. We are great spot right here. I might even get some more. Look at that. Even if it just comes back to here, That's a 165% growth. This 60% drop, you grab it, will grab you 168 coming back. It's beautiful. Just a beautiful, beautiful dip. Designed. It's like the universe was just like, oh yeah, Paul wants to make lots of money so that he can show other people how to make lots of money. And I'm going to help him by dropping the price of PAL by 60%. I just love this. This one here I've been holding out on this one, and it's just been averaging basically the whole time, averaging at the price that I purchased at 0.8 of a cent. So 0.8 of a cent was my price point on this one. You could have got even at 0.7. So 0.7 of a cent is the low that we saw since I purchased. And right now, tempting to get some bulls running here. That was, what day was that? That was November 5th, election day. So it tempted the bulls a little bit, but been consolidating ever since. This one, again, I think it's going to be a little bit delayed. What I did with this one was when the price was at the point that I had purchased before, so I didn't lose any money, when the price was at where it was before, and I think it was on Monday, so there on the 11th, I actually sold about 1/3 of my holdings in FAR, and I used that to get some PAL and some Gala, which is the next one here. So I used some of this because I believe this will be a little bit delayed. It's not going to happen as quickly as some of the other coins because this one's in gaming. AI is going to be boosting the gaming coins. So I think that this bubble will happen in kind of two phases. AI stored like Destra, 0x0, those are going to come in first. And then it's going to be the gaming coins because a lot of the AI that is being developed right now is specifically for the gaming. So AI bubble the influx of liquidity is going to be coming in, investing into AI, and then it's going to be going into gaming. And the two stages are going to happen basically like this. If you were to roll a ball over, it's going to be like the AI coins are going to go up, and we're going to see the gaming coins kind of stay by themselves. But then on the other side of that, we'll see the gaming take off after the liquidity for AI comes into play. That's that's my speculation. I could be off on that. Don't take that as trading advice or financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what I see from my perspective in how things are working. AI is going to do a lot of the work for gaming. It really is. 80% of the budget, when you see like gaming companies like Blizzard, EA Sports, all of them, most of their time and resources, energy, money is being spent on programming the environment of the game. Programming the environment. That's the majority of the programming that takes place. Well, when you can get AI to do that for you on the fly, now your gaming production, like, you have to change the way that you build games altogether. So that's why I think that we're going to see AI really start to lead this bubble, and then the gaming coins will come in. That's why I took 1/3 of this gaming bag and I put it into AI projects. More AI-driven projects, I should say. Gala and PAL are both gaming infrastructure coins, but they are focused on the AI generation, or it's AI generation of the gaming environment to offload that work from the programmers. Gala, that was on November 6th that I got Gala. I thought it was before the election. It might have been that day. So yeah, Gala, another great project coming into play here. Not formed an all-time high, or not even close to reaching its all-time high yet. I'm going to zoom out here and just see. I know that this is supposed to go to $1 as well. So the high point here is 73. Let's zoom in. high point is 86 cents US. Right now sitting at 2.8 cents. That's a pretty nice little growth. In fact, from where I purchased on the 6th, that was at 2.2 cents. The growth, projected growth this cycle, taking me just back to the all-time high, not the end of the cycle, but between here and the all-time high, which probably will be hit January-ish, is 4,400%. That's 44 times the return. I'm good with that. And again, as the money comes in from these other projects, I will be dumping it into things that go like this. Not all of them, obviously, not all of it. You want to be smart with it. And as time goes on, you'll see how my strategy plays out. And you can feel free to follow along. IMX, I don't have anything in this yet. I'm watching it carefully though. We can see that this high here that occurred at September 24th did provide some hope, and that the lows haven't gone below the low here. This was in August. It's very encouraging to see. It's right now at $1.02, $1.29. Yeah, basically $1.30. And yeah, this next movement here, again, I expect, like with a lot of these other coins, I expect this to really start to take off after the first influx comes in. So a couple more weeks back and forth. I'll be watching carefully for it to retest this level here. Well, we might actually have already done that. Yeah, you know what? I would say that we've already tested this level. Because if you take a look, go back in time, it's here, here, there, oh, right there. So with all of those points, those are all resistance in the past. It became support here, and now it's definitely had enough time here that it's ready to go up. So, whether I get some or not, I don't know yet. But this one is supposed to be $10 in short order. So let's go and just see what that is. Yeah, we're looking at 6-7 times. Sundog, rallying from that low. This one here, I put in $100 for fun. This one here came down and sat at 9 cents. Came down and found support at 9 cents and has been coming back up since, already up 104% in the last week. I didn't add to this one here. I only have the one. Oh no, it says I have another position here. October 12th. But look at that, see what that is. But I might be coming back to that. This one is still in the game. Still in the game. It's finding some resistance right now. That's normal because it provided that line was support in the past. So once we get above that, then we'll start seeing it come back up to that all-time high. I definitely got in way too early on this one here. I was excited because it came out of the gate nice and strong. And yeah, I was like, hey, look at that. Meme coin on Solana, on the Solana network. Let's go check it out. So I did. Oh no, Sundog is Tron, I think. Anyway. Long story short, it sits there, does its thing, bonk. Another meme coin that's doing very much better. Came out of this pennant formation with a bang right after the election. Great community, good communication. That's really the biggest things that I'm looking for if I am to get into a meme. NPC is definitely my favorite meme. Already forming new highs again yesterday and again today. Going to see this one really take off, I think, over the next little while. This meme coin, the more that I'm getting to know the community behind it, the more I'm thinking this one is actually probably going to be a long-term, like a 2-year, 3-year coin, which is a long time in crypto. So should you put lots in? No. Again, they're memes. I don't find them to have as much real-world value as a real-world asset. I don't find them to have as much value as the actual infrastructure pools that are being used to build this future that we see. The meme coins are good for marketing for the communities that are building because it creates more interest. It's like a top of funnel opportunity to start generating some conversation around their particular project. And PC coin is exactly that. Great meme coin. As far as meme coins go, it's probably one of the top rated ones as far as what it's capable of doing. And I like Bonk. Bonk is a competitor in a sense. Sundog. Yeah. I feel complete on that. Thank you so much. 8:29. I wanted to go faster so that we could have more time to chat, but there's just so much going on. I'm going to go ahead and close things off. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or if there's an asset you would like me to analyze, no matter what it is, if it's something in the stock market, I got no problems doing that. I'm just applying a lot of what I know right now to crypto simply because that's the bubble that we're in. Definitely do your own research. Make sure that you have a strong exit plan. Don't do this blindly. If you need some help, schedule some time with me. I'm more than happy to show you the ropes and how to get started. And tune into our market analysis every morning to keep up to date with what I'm doing with my money. Anyways, have a good day.